Can't be both of you, not me.
Well, if it wasn't either of us, then we would probably nominate you, because we know if you have an envelope laying around, it would only take a couple of minutes for you to come up with something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm a sheet slitter. I slit sheets. I'm the best sheet slitter that ever slit a sheet.
Oh, God.
Miss Buggy Wuggy is a square cut punt, not a punt cut square, just a square cut punt. It's round in the stern and blunt in the front. Mrs. Buggy Wuggy is a square cut punt.
The hell is that?
And people challenge me to do videos regarding tongue twisters. What's going on, Kevin? What's going on, Wirehead and Doreen? So I've gotten really good at doing them, and the ones they sent me are very dangerous.
I've seen some of them where you mess up and then you're accidentally saying the F word, or you're saying something.
Yeah, well, now I've gotten better at it.
Yeah.
And I actually challenged a bunch of you on X Factor to film yourselves doing some of these and send them my way, and I'll do it as our summer collaboration.
I didn't see that. I saw your text, but I didn't actually. This weekend, I worked all weekend. But the my favorite one was a big black bug bit a big black bear, made the big black bear bleed blood.
Then the toy boat one is just simple. But Chris, try to say toy boat 10 times fast.
Hold on, I got to think about what happens if I don't.
Nothing happens.
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
It's just impossible to do. You'll look like you're stroking out is what'll happen.
Toy boat, 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 toy. I got the
Pretty good. Dave, what's going on? Sheila, hello. Quirky, Carly, John's in the house. Kevin again. Yeah, that one's not dangerous. The other one was the one that got me was. 1 sock cutter, he cut socks. 2 sock cutters, they cut socks. 3 sock cutters, they cut socks. 4 sock cutters, they cut socks. 5 cut. That one gets me.
End up saying to see you next Tuesday.
Well, the square cut punt. Yeah, I said it right.
Yeah.
Was trying to see me next Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
What's going on, Life? Dixie, Black Sheep. Looks like people are jumping in. Welcome to the Three View Mirror, our weekly show where we get together live in front of a, virtually live studio audience where you all can come into our chat, and as you make comments in chat, just like Kristen right there, comes in on top. Chris just did the toy boat, loose, all meaning.
And what character had a toy boat in an episode of a show?
I don't know.
Chandler.
Oh,
Toy boat in his bathtub. I got my boat.
Oh, I remember the Tidy Bowl, man. But at any rate, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Every week, one of us is the host, and they come up with 3 different topics that span the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, Gen X era pop culture. And only the host knows a little secret, and that secret is that their topics have something that ties them all together. They may seem randomly random on the surface, but if you dig in a little bit as we discuss each of those topics over the next hour, hopefully by the end of the hour, when we ask you to reveal, you guys or one of us will have figured out what that secret connection is. Sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of fun getting there. And I would just remind you all, wait till the end, and we'll see what we can do to get there. Yeah. Mother Pheasant, I did that one, Sheila. So the topics, we're not quite there yet. I'm just introducing ourselves. My name is John Catrides, Gen X Jono across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find me on my website at genxjono.com, and I'm joined by 2 of my best friends. Shell, say hello.
Hello, I am Rochelle Oblak, better known as Gen X Shell across most of my socials, and I'm pretty sure based on all the names that I've seen here, y'all know who I am.
And I'm Chris Clues, better known as Chris Clues. I am a keynote speaker and author that focuses on the life and work lessons that we can learn from 80s pop culture. You can find my books on Amazon. And if you're curious to learn more about my speaking, you can go to chrisclues.com, CLEWS, to learn more.
This is the Three View Mirror. Never get tired of this song.
Me neither.
It was a good choice.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Tell me what's your name. All right, y'all. Chris is our host with the most. Give it over to you, brother.
All right. So I have 3 big topics this week that I hope everybody can discuss. I know sometimes we have 3 topics and one, 2 are like awesome for people conversing. And then sometimes we throw one out there and both hosts are like, never seen it, don't know it. But I think these 3 are going to be good for us this week. So the 3 topics this week are Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Girls, and one-hit wonders.
Beverly
Hills
Cop, Golden Chicks,
The Golden Girls, and one-hit wonders.
All right, there we go. So, for those playing along for the first time, there is something that at the end we're going to make guesses on connecting Beverly Hills Cop, Golden Girls, and one-hit wonders. Let's go. What are you starting with?
Let's start with Beverly Hills Cop.
Dude, I still have not seen the remake or the sequel. Was it good?
It's good. It's good. And they brought everybody back. Like, that was the big thing to everybody who was still alive, of course. They brought everybody back, and I think that's the right way to do it. And once Eddie Murphy is done, there's no more Axel Foley. That's it. It's done.
Travis says, if the 80s have taught me anything, is that anyone with a sweater tie around their neck is a dick. We've heard that before. No, I don't remember anybody in Beverly Hills Cop really being the bad douchey dude necessarily. Just remember a lot of really good characters in it. It was like a really good character-driven comedy, good plot device, took you from the beginning to the middle to the end, all the way through. And I just remember all of us wondering if a banana in a tailpipe, exhaust pipe of a car would really disable the vehicle.
Yeah.
I watched I think it's, what year did the original come out?
84.
84. Okay. I watched the original probably then 40 years ago. But the new one, I thoroughly enjoyed. My husband had a better and easier time retracing all the people that they brought back. He was like, oh, look, that's this person. Oh, look, that's that person. Because anybody could have enjoyed Beverly Hills Cop, and I enjoyed it. But I didn't love it the same way I think guys loved it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was Eddie Murphy. I think he was 23 years old.
That's crazy.
He did 48 hours when he was 21, and that was 1982. So I think he was 23 years old.
You said that, and instantly I did math trying to figure out, and for a minute, I thought, wait a minute, I'm older than Eddie Murphy? Because when I did the math, I took 1984 to be 21 years ago. It's crazy how often I do that. The 80s, in quick math, in my mind, was always 20-something years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Quichelle, when you said, it just hit me, that you saw the original 40 years ago. It just, I don't know if it's been like this for every generation. My parents seem to embrace the age thing, getting old. They felt every year of their years. They're like, I remember back when. I think it's different for us.
Yes, and actually, Kevin, you're right. Sylvester Stallone was the original pick to be Axel Foley, and actually went on instead to do Cobra, which was a very different movie. I loved it. I love Cobra, but it's no Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop.
And Beverly Hills Cop, somebody mentioned earlier about the boss being the bad guy, but then you have all these interesting characters because, of course, you have Balky from Perfect Strangers, who was just absolutely perfect in Beverly Hills Cop playing Surge. And that whole scene was ad-libbed. That 2 minutes with Surge where he's like, this is not sexy. And he's like, that was
I remember that part.
You can see Eddie Murphy trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about, what's his name? Bronson Pinchot's a sense of humor and his ability to deliver a line to be able to make Eddie Murphy, almost crack up. And then, of course, you had Mike Ehrtrant. You had Mike from Breaking Bad, was also in Beverly Hills Cop. If you go back and watch, he was one of the bad guys as well. And a lot of people don't, he's obviously much older, but he was Mike in Breaking Bad, which is pretty cool too.
It's kind of neat sometimes when you go back and you watch an old movie, you've watched something say current, and then you go back and you watch an old movie and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know he was in that. That was before he was a star in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing that. And I just had, like, we were talking about the 40 years ago, having seen the new Beverly Hills Club, Eddie Murphy is like, he didn't age. Like, he looks incredible for his age. He didn't age.
Yeah, and somebody else mentioned Judge Reinhold as well, and the whole cast for Beverly Hills Cop. It was perfectly cast. It is kind of like one of those movies when you watch it. It's really, I mean, there are 80s movies and then there are 80s movies, and Beverly Hills Cop is that, just a quintessential 80s movie with a perfect leading man for a comedy in Eddie Murphy, a perfect supporting cast, a great soundtrack. Of course, had a great soundtrack, Beverly Hills Cop, from the instrumentals to the songs. We got introduced, somebody mentioned earlier, Damon Wayans with the banana and the tailpipe. Just take all the bananas, just take them all. So you had we had these characters and actors that we got introduced to in the movie as well. And it's one of those movies that just makes why the 80s, this was such a great decade for movie making.
I don't think I've seen it since I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggle a little bit with this only because it's never been one of those movies that brought me back. I think there was a sequel back in the 80s, Beverly Hills Cop 2, right? Late 80s.
There's three of them.
There were three. I think I probably saw the second one. This is when I feel the 40 years because my brain is trying to go back 40 years. I'm really good at the music. Beverly Axel F. I can hear it. It stayed with me. It speaks to what the 80s music scene was like. I don't think an instrumental song like Axel F would crack the top 40 today.
Mm-mm.
I don't think there's any chance in hell. Likewise, there's no chance that Chariots of Fire instrumental could have made it, or that the Miami Vice soundtrack instrumental could have made it. Music was just different back then, and movies as a vehicle to push forward music and or music as a vehicle to push forward movies doesn't exist anymore.
It's funny that you say that about the music and such, because we were just driving for Memorial Day today in the car, and I love to flip through songs. I'll listen to a song for a couple of minutes and I'm singing in the car, and my kids, I'm like, this is what you have to do when I am in charge of the radio in the car. Okay. So I'm flipping through, and I've got country stations like modern and classic. I've got hip hop, modern and classic. I've got rock, modern and classic. And every single channel that comes on, I'm singing the songs that are coming onto these channels. And the kids are like, how do you know so much music? And I just boom, turn the radio off, and it was speech time. It's speech time about what it means to be a Generation Xer and grow up in that MTV generation where we could listen to a song that was purely instrumental, or a song that was country, or a song that was hip hop, or a song that was rock. We listened to it all. We're the MTV generation.
And the soundtrack, speaking of that, to your point, I mean, if I say some of these songs, John, you said you haven't probably seen it since the first time you saw it, but Neutron Dance, the Pointer Sisters, The Heat Is On, Glenn Frey.
Yeah. And to clarify, the music I still remember. That's what I'm saying. I remember the soundtrack more than I remember the movie.
But it's funny when you hear those names, though, you immediately see, at least for me, I see Axel Foley. Mm-hmm. When I hear Neutron Dance, I'm immediately transported back to Axel Foley and Billy Rosewood and Taggart, and of course, who couldn't obviously be here for Axel F because he was fairly old in the original. But one of my favorite scenes is with the police chief Hubbard when he comes in. The older guy comes in, and Eddie Murphy's there with Axel and Taggart and Rosewood. And he's like, is this the gentleman who crashed through Victor Maitland's window, who disabled an unmarked unit with a banana? And they're like, yes, sir. And he's like, who lured Taggart and Rosemont into a gross dereliction of duty at a striptease establishment? Yes, sir. Is this the gentleman who ruined the buffet at the Harrow Club this morning? I bet you're just the pride of your department in Detroit. I don't know. That scene just, if you go watch that scene, it's just so well done. And then his police inspector, Todd, was a real Detroit police officer, was a lieutenant, I think a lieutenant or a sergeant in the Detroit police, and had never acted before.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And to Joe McKay's point, he says, I didn't realize Damon Wayans was in Beverly Hills Cop. He just looked at the clip. I love going back now and going into movies from the 80s, kind of like a before they were famous kind of moment, and seeing, and I do that a lot with this show, because I'll try to make someone be the connection, and I'll pull up their filmography. I'll pull up their filmography, and invariably at some point I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know they were in that. Mm-hmm. And then you got to kind of look back and like, holy crap, there they are.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a lot of 80s movies when you go back. I mean, even like the movie Night Shift, which was a great one that I bring up often with Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton, directed by Ron Howard. Frat boy number 3 was Kevin Costner. So when you go back and you see these, it's pretty cool to see those.
Yeah.
Who also played the dead body in, does anybody know this? One of Kevin Costner's first roles was an extra. He literally just played a dead body. No, I'll give people a minute. Well, go on. Somebody will bring it up.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think Beverly Hills Cop again. When somebody says like, tell me the movies that define the 80s. Give me a list of the movies that define the 80s, not obscure ones, not underrated ones, just these hits that define the 80s. Beverly Hills Cop has got to be on that list.
I agree. It's just not, I think, one of those movies that you go back and rewatch over and over again. I'm glad that they brought it back in new format for all the people in a new generation, so maybe they go back and watch it. But for me, honestly, loved the movie, but it was not one of those ones that I could just go back and watch over and over and over again. It just wasn't.
And obviously, same for me, whether it was intentional or not. But what I think has working against it for me is that it competes with every other Eddie Murphy movie. So if I'm in the mood to watch an Eddie Murphy movie, there's a lot to pick from there. And at this point, I just never really grabbed this one to bring forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it's just because I saw Eddie Murphy Raw live.
Yeah,
I'm a huge
that's amazing.
Eddie Murphy fan. And to this day, like if there's an Eddie Murphy movie on, I don't care what one it is. It doesn't even have to be a good one. I'm watching it because he has just got that. There's something about that dude. They talk about the aura around somebody or the energy around somebody. Like if he walked into a room before anybody knew who he was, he would probably stand out. Yeah. He just has that. It's just something about him. And Blister Bill, the Super Cop story was working. It was working, and you guys just screwed it up. There's so many great lines, and I would encourage all of you, if you haven't watched Beverly Hills Cop in a while, to just, it's easy to find. Go find it, but make sure you don't do it on a censored channel because it's not going to work. Kind of like trying to watch Superbad censored. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So find it on a non-censored channel. Go watch it again. I think you'll feel like, you almost feel like you're back in the movie theater when you were 13 or 14 or 15. It's awesome.
Very cool. One quick question before we go to round 2.
Yeah.
Raw or Delirious?
I mean, I got to go Delirious. I really have to go Delirious because of just the ice cream alone, I think for me is Delirious.
Yeah.
Delirious.
Which one was the red jacket?
Delirious.
Delirious was red, purple was Raw.
Yeah.
For me, it's Delirious too, and exactly for the reason you mentioned. The scene where he's discussing the kids and the ice cream and the family on welfare and the alcoholic parents, and the fact that Dad makes that kid the butt of the joke, dude. I revisit that early and often.
I think I still say it sometimes, like just tease it around or something. My husband and I will like randomly bring up something from that. The red jacket it was so iconic too in that one. So
yeah, and he kicked him in the ding ding. Like we still say that to this day.
Well, for me, it was the origination of Psych. That's what originated Psych for me. So anytime we went to school that week, Chris is like, "Hey, I didn't bring a pen. Can I borrow a pen?" "Sure, here you go." Psych. "Hey, John, do you have 25 cents I can borrow for lunch?" "Sure, dude." Psych.
Yeah. All right. So to keep on track with our time, we just talked about Beverly Hills Cop and a lot about Eddie Murphy, which is always fun. And now we're going to we're going to shift gears completely here, although not really, comedy as well, different kind of comedy in The Golden Girls. And Shell was excited about this, so let's let Shell go first here.
I literally was obsessed with the Golden Girls. I have seen every single stinking episode. I don't know why. And I was younger when I watched it. It was on perpetual rerun, maybe at a time when I was ready to sit down and watch TV every night of my life at some point. I don't know. But it was always there. And I got addicted to it. I loved the characters. I thought that the mashup of all these older women and how wonderful. Now, mind you. I'll get to this in a second. We hadn't seen a lot of older women being played as sexy or played as fun or funny or living their best life up until that point. Now, the mind you part that I was getting to is that I'm currently older than a lot of when the Golden Girls actually began acting in the Golden Girls. Here goes John with his phone. He's going to be like,
You're not, though. I'm going to tell you you're not. That's a misnomer. You're younger. You're older than the age they were playing, and you're older than maybe Blanche. The rest were older.
Okay. I think,
but they were playing women in their late 40s and early 50s, except for, of course, Estelle Getty. So yeah, there is that. But I think Blanche's character was supposed to be 50, and I think she was played by Estelle Getty at 51 when it started.
Correct. And my birthday is 2 weeks away, where I'll be 52. So.
There you go. Wirehead says Sex in the City in retirement, although they were all still working.
Okay, but the question, like, it would be like, if you like among us girls would be like, if you could be a Golden Girl, which one of the Golden Girls would you be? So I don't know. It doesn't apply to you two. I wish you were women right now so I could ask you. Maybe I'll ask the people in the audience. If you were a Golden Girl, which Golden Girl were you? Like, which one did you identify with most?
That's an interesting question. And while we're waiting for those answers, when we talk about sitcoms on the show, we often talk about the guest stars that used to be on these sitcoms. Like, we've lost the movie soundtracks, we've lost the sitcoms with all the guest stars, and just like a few of the list of the people that were on there: George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Burt Reynolds, Mario Lopez, Alex Trebek, Mickey Rooney, Bob Hope, Dick Van Dyke, Sonny Bono, Debbie Reynolds, Leslie Nielsen. I mean, I could go on. There's so many. And I think that's something that we're missing today too, is that, the guest star, and you look forward to the guest star, and not Dorothy. The hell is that?
I think I got to agree with that. You're the voice of authority. You're very logical. I'm sorry. I mean, you're the tallest of us. I think Dorothy works.
You guys only know me here as, logical. That doesn't mean I'm logical outside of here.
Well, we can only go based on what we see.
John's Betty White. John's Rose. You definitely Rose. You tell the stories. You got it. It's like you got these 80s stories.
I'm sorry. If anyone's Rose, I think it's you. You grew up in St. Olaf, for crying out loud. No, that I'm probably I'm not Blanche. I don't think I have one, because all that's left is Estelle Getty's character.
I like to think I have a little Betty White in me because she was huge in Animal Rescue, and so am I. So maybe a little bit of that.
I guess I'm Sophia by default.
Or maybe you're just the dude that came to the door every couple weeks for a date.
There you go.
Always a date coming to the house. Always a date coming to the house.
Yeah. But it was like 4:00 in the afternoon because they had to have dinner at 4:30.
But they didn't play it as old. I mean, I think a lot of people will look at 80s style and fashion for women. There were rules that women back then followed. You could say had to follow, but whether they had to or not, as they got older, their hair came up and their hemline went down. They weren't allowed to do certain things and be. So, I mean, they followed the rules, and those rules made them look old. Their hair made, if you changed their hairstyles, I'm convinced they would lose 20 years off their faces. But they didn't play it old, though. That's what was cool.
Now, see, I loved Blanche's character. I loved that they brought in sexy. I want to be a Blanche.
Hey, Golden Guys wouldn't be bad. JTR said that'd be good.
Oh, but I love that they brought in, like, I love the innuendos. I loved when Sophia would just say something snappy to Blanche. There were so many things in that show that would actually just make me laugh. Silly laughing, you know. I loved it.
So a couple cool things about it. Number one, and this was mentioned in the chat, our live studio audience brought it up. Betty White was intended to take Blanche's character, but she felt that in the Mary Tyler Moore series, she'd already played that provocative, sex-crazed person, so she wanted to try something different. So you imagine how that would have played out. That's kind of funny. Second thing is, I guess, speaking of Betty White, her and B. Arthur did not get along on set.
No.
They really did not get along. It's not that they necessarily disliked each other as people. B. Arthur couldn't stand her personality. They literally were oil and water and didn't mix. But the professionalism of those times, you would never, ever, ever know it. They hit it perfectly well. And then finally, I just think it's funny. I did a post once that if this show were to be recast today, it would be women like Jennifer Aniston, women like you that would be in those roles, and how different things have come.
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, who's 52 years old, Sofia Vergara. Storm from the X-Men series.
John, I have my microphone. I'm calling out to the universe right now. I'm manifesting that I get cast in the new generation.
The Golden Girls. I mean, that's where we've come, and I think it's really cool. I'm not saying, anything disparaging about those strong, amazing, funny, talented women. I'm just saying that the way women are allowed to look, feel, act, society has finally come a long way. I always laugh, and I remember from Dynasty, Linda Evans launched a perfume line at 40 years old, and the whole thing about it was that women at 40 were still allowed to have some aspects of sexuality at 40, and that was considered groundbreaking back then.
Mm-hmm.
Halle Berry, that's what I was thinking. Thank you, Brian. Halle Berry would be a Golden Girl.
Yeah.
Dorothy calling Blanche a slut was always fantastic. It was one of the best. See, you watched it then. I didn't. I've only discovered it since being married. My wife will have it on. It's not something I would have gravitated to in my late teens, early 20s. But now my wife will have it on in the background, and it is savage. The humor, the writing, it's hilarious.
I learned what a lanai was by watching that show. I'm not from Florida like Chris is. I had no idea what a lanai was until I watched The Golden Girls. Betty White, by the way, I always think about her. She was how many days away from her 100th birthday when she passed away?
One,
maybe something like that. She was so close to her 100th birthday. And they were supposed to hold a big celebration and all this other stuff. It was kind of like, I can't think. Never mind. It was somebody else that was like that too.
Well, the joke was that she was a New Year's baby, or right around that time, and the joke was that the year was going to be so horrible that Betty White took a look at it and said, "I'm out. I'm just having nothing to do with it." Robert asks, I never really watched the show. Why did they all live together? Because Blanche's character owned the home, but took on roommates to help her be able to afford it, was the way it started. And Sophia was never supposed to be a part of it, but she burnt down the retirement home that she was living in and then was forced to live with the other three ladies. See, I caught on. And they always had to eat cheesecake.
Call her
And there were also 3 spinoffs as well. The Golden Palace, which only lasted like a year, but it had Cheech Marin and Don Cheadle, which is like shocking that it wouldn't work. Empty Nest and Nurses.
Empty Nest worked for a while. That's what they call a backdoor pilot, because that was already written and they brought the people into the show with the idea to push them off on their own. Golden Palace, I tried because my kids loved Golden Girls. So I'm like, hey guys, look at this. Did not work without Dorothy.
Yeah. And even with Christy McNichol, who was awesome.
Yeah, we know you like Christy.
I did. She was one of my first crushes, Christy McNichol. Yep, absolutely. I think I was like 10.
No, I could, it's been so many years since I've actually went back and watched it. But
oh wow, I didn't know that. Sorry.
Yeah, Arthur was a Marine. Somehow that fits. I can see that.
Yeah.
My grandmother was a Marine.
Really? That's cool.
My grandmother was a Marine. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
It brings us to half past the hour.
We interrupted you, Shell. You were saying something about.
No, just that. I can't just say enough how much that show brought me joy. Simple joy.
Yeah.
It was not complex. There were no tragic stories. You know how they always had to bring in like Punky Brewster, girl caught in a refrigerator kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they never put Betty White in the fridge.
No, they never brought in it kept it comedy. They never really did anything too serious. There was maybe a heart attack. I remember Betty White had a heart attack during one event, kind of a thing. But they kept it light and lively, and it felt just. It made me feel good watching it.
And, as we wrap up the Golden Girls segment, it was so well done and it's so revered that, John uses the word trope a lot when we see these tropes that Hollywood uses over and over and over again when they work. They haven't done it. They haven't used that trope in the same way. And I think it says something about the show itself that even in a world of remake after remake after remake, they're just leaving it alone. And they're not trying to do something with it. Maybe they will at some point, but right now they're not.
They came close. They did come close. The Facts of Life was going to do a reboot where they're going to bring on the original cast, the women primarily. And it just didn't work out for a number of different reasons. But that was the concept, was let's bring these former young girls that were living together, let's bring them into the current time. And the whole thing was, this is going to be basically the new version of Golden Girls. And it just didn't work. They weren't able to cohesively stay together in order to make it work.
Yeah. So, all right. So we, yes, and that's a great point, actually, Kylie made, because it connected generations, which I think is really important. And there's not a lot of TV that does that. So that's a really good point. It connected generations. Okay. So we've talked about Beverly Hills Cop. We've talked about the Golden Girls. And now we're going to talk about something that 80s is absolutely famous for, and that is one-hit wonders and how many of them we had. And we talk on the Three View Mirror a lot about the music from the 80s, how diverse it was in terms of looking at a top 10, a top 20, or top 40, and seeing country next to metal, next to pop, next to rap. You had everything for everyone. And not to sound like the old guy screaming at clouds now, but look, it all sounds the same on the top 40. And even my friends' kids will acknowledge that they can hear the difference in some of the stuff, but it is the same basic genre. And so that's why we had all these one-hit wonders, provided us with all this great music. And some bands that I thought, how did they only capture magic in a bottle once? And that's what I wanted to talk about for this segment.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
Boom, boom.
Hey, Mickey.
She's 82 now.
Rock me, Amadeus.
Take on me.
Amadeus. I could sing the one-hit wonders.
Yeah. Come on, Eileen.
Oh, I hated that one.
Which one?
Ooh, come on.
Oh, I could not stand Come On, Eileen. Dexy's Dirty Runners.
Dexy's
Midnight Runners, yeah.
They looked filthy. I just wanted
They did look filthy.
Just go take a shower somewhere.
The safety dance.
Safety dance, yeah.
Safety dance, yeah. Yeah.
The Greg Kinn Band, somebody mentioned the breakup song, but they also had Our Love's in Jeopardy. They had Jeopardy, right?
Our love's in jeopardy.
They were a 2-hit wonder, I think.
Baby.
And a lot of international followers will have different opinions. Now, Kiwi comes to us from New Zealand, and he'll mention that Aha was not a one-hit wonder. And it depends on where you're coming from. I've done a lot of videos where I'll post one-hit wonders, and my followers from Great Britain or from Down Under or from someplace else will jump in and say, wait a minute. No. They had multiple hits, but never repeated Take On Me, for instance, in the States as a hit. That was their one huge hit. Other bands that do that, 99 Red Balloons, 99 Luft Balloons. That was a one-hit wonder here stateside, but in Germany, that singer, that band continued to find success.
Well, and I think when we did, that's a really good point. When we define one wonder, we're talking about the U.S., the top 40 here that we were listening to. Many of us here in the U.S. were listening to, but also to be a one-hit wonder, it's not just about having, a song. Maybe you had 4 or 5 songs that cracked the top 50. But we're talking about one song that cracked like the top 5 or the top 10. It has to be a hit. It can't just be something that was, got to number 32. Yeah, that's good, but that's not a hit. Like we're talking
and a hit that we're still talking about 40 years later.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hits on the Billboard Top 100, on the top 40, on the top 10. But there were so many of those that have come and gone. If I listed every top 1 song that's ever been on there, there'd be plenty that were like, oh, okay. These one-hit wonders are songs that iconically remain in pop culture today, which is a huge feat. And they did it once, and then off they went.
Because, we have, David Hasselhoff, who didn't have any hits here, but he's massive in Germany. So, definitely totally agree with that comment. But we're thinking about these ones that still today we hear in commercials. Mickey was a great one to bring up. Shell, because Tony Basil, Mickey was the song. And in fact, it's in that Mickey 17 movie now that just came out that's doing pretty well. The song is Mickey in the background. So
Tainted Love,
Soft Cell is a great
one. How about oh, remember that one, the Jungle?
That was Baltimore, Jungle.
I'm sorry, you just cracked the picture frame behind me.
I love music. If I would have been a singer, if I could sing.
If you could sing?
If I could have sung, I'd have been a singer, but I can't sing. Alas.
Those of us that have no musical talent are the ones that love to sing the loudest. Though there's something about that.
Absolutely, and I have no shame either. So,
but so many, and here's the difference. Today, it's almost there'll be songs that go viral instantly because things like TikTok have made that possible. That they'll become a sound. It'll become a backdrop to a viral video, and then everyone will use that sound in their videos. But the music almost gets lost in it. Like, you don't know who the band is. You never hear much more than that one little snippet. They use part of it, and that's it. And it's not the same thing.
G brought up She's a Beauty by the Tubes, which I love that song. And that was one of my favorite videos as well. I still love that song. That's a great example of kind of what I'm like. For me, how does a band, like, now maybe somebody will tell me the Tubes actually had some good albums further down the road and I just missed them, and that's cool too. But when we talk about a hit, how does a band like the Tubes capture She's a Beauty, which is a really awesome song, and then that's it?
Well, and then Kevin brings up, you've got the Tubes that do that, but then you've got songs that never were really intended to enter our top 10, our top 5. Songs like The Greatest American Hero actually made it onto the pop charts. A commercial. The song that Coke put out there, I'd Like to Buy the World of Coke, the radio stations got asked to play that song so many times that they finally commissioned a song to be written because they didn't want to keep giving Coke free airtime for advertising. The I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing remake was made after the commercial because they're like, we can't keep playing the commercial just if people want to hear it. Friends, the theme to Friends, they extended the band, created into a song. So those are one-hit wonders that come off of television. I'm sure there's plenty that came off of movies.
And I ran so far away.
And so they had a song called Photograph as well, which was really good also. But to your point, like, Iran is the one that everybody knows. There's a band that I loved, and I'm going to throw one out there. And I know we got a couple people in our audience that are big music people like me. There was a band called the Icicle Works, and they had a song called Whisper to a Scream. And it's like, I don't know if you could consider them a one-hit wonder, because I don't know that song got to the top 10. But we had these bands like that had this one huge song that if you were listening to music, you started to hear on the radio. That was on the radio, but it was their only one. Send Me an Angel, Real Life, which was from the Rad movie soundtrack. And I don't know if Real Life did anything again in terms of like that size and scope, but Send Me an Angel to this day is still a huge song that you hear on commercials and in TV shows as well. Everybody's bringing up Somebody's Watching Me, Rockwell, which I love too. It was a great video, by the way.
Somebody mentioned Outfield. I actually had that whole album. I like the whole album.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Very happy with that album. Tracy Ullman, even had a one-hit wonder. I didn't know that. That's Doreen in our studio audience. Let us know that. Jesse's bringing back Aha, and I think we would consider that a one-hit wonder here stateside.
Wasn't Tracy Ullman, correct me if I'm wrong, Everybody Run, The Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun? Was that Tracy Ullman or was that somebody else? If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, please, in the chat.
What is it? What song is it?
Everybody Run, The Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun. Everybody Run, The Homecoming
Never heard that one.
Gun. Yeah.
David brings up Safety Dance again, Flock of Seagulls. I couldn't tell you a Flock of Seagulls song, but I will never forget the hair. I can just see it. Which, bringing up our Friends reference, Chandler absolutely did that in his college throwbacks. Johnny Hates Jazz.
Shattered Dreams. That's a great. Keep Me Hanging On by Kim Wilde.
Berlin. That's from a movie. That would be Top Gun.
Juice Newton.
The Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts. Love that song. That's the only song.
Just Call Me Angel in the Morning.
Yep. So she had a couple.
But Kim Carnes, Betty Davis Eyes.
Yeah.
Which was the number one song of the year that went out. That stayed on the top of the charts forever. And she never was able to duplicate that success.
Oh, One Night in Bangkok. I remember that one.
Which one?
One Night in Bangkok.
I am so going to edit out what you just said and have some fun with that on a video.
What about the song we always do, that Let Me Clear My Throat?
Blinded Me with Science. I love that.
Yes.
But Thomas Dolby had a few. How about there was a guy, so this one for people that I think he was British, but Nick Kershaw. He had a song called Wouldn't It Be Good? And it actually did really well here, but that was it. And I think he had some other music. Julie Brown, thank you. The Homecoming Queen Has Got a Gun was Julie Brown. All right, that's right. Thank you. Yeah.
And I tried to mention when John was talking about foreign songs like 99 Love Balloons and David Hasselhoff and stuff, like most people didn't know about Rammstein, but then like Du Hast would have been a one-hit wonder here, but they're huge. You know what I mean? But nobody heard of them until Du Hast came out. Du Hast.
Oh, somebody Du Hast.
Du Hast.
That was in that movie Euro Trip too, which was awesome. Somebody brought up one of my favorites actually, and it's
Wingo.
No, Orange Juice Jones, Walking in the Rain.
Yeah.
I saw you. You're just a squirrel trying to get a nut.
Move your butt
In the rain.
to the dance floor. Come on, say yeah, everybody over here. What song am I singing?
What?
Anyway. The Humpty Dance.
The
Humpty Dance is one of those when everybody's like, finish the lyrics, stop. And everybody goes, in the name of love, or collaborate and listen. I always come up with, for some reason, my brain goes to Humpty. I'm like, stop. What you doing? Because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you used to.
I look funny. But yo, I'm making money.
I love that song. Yeah, I called you fat. Yo, no way could that go today. Chumbawamba.
Lunatic Fringe, Red Rider.
Dude, the chat is just exploding with songs.
Blondie, you can't say no. Blondie had so many hits.
Yeah, Blondie's not. No. That Blondie's.
I loved Blondie.
Hall of Fame. How about Information Society? I want to know what you're thinking.
Oh, what,
I want to know. Well, that was a sample, right?
I think it was What's on Your Mind, Pure Energy.
Pure Energy. Yeah, you've got Leonard Nimoy coming in there on the sample. Pure Energy from Star Trek.
Swing out, sister.
Oh, I was waiting for this one. JTR. Oh, baby, you got what I need. So many people love that. It made me so angry because, to your point, Shell, I can sing better than that, and I don't have a hit.
But that's the great thing about it is anybody can sing that at karaoke, and you're good. Like,
I guess Bismarcky.
How about Heart and Soul, Tupow?
Oh,
yeah, I love that.
Two shot. Yo,
two shy to shy. Hush, hush, eye to eye.
Kajagoogoo.
Kajagoogoo.
Martika, Toy Soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Patrick Swayze. She's like the wind.
He's like the wind. Mm-hmm.
What's his face? Help me. Die Hard. Die Hard.
Song too, yeah.
Yeah, well, he had that one. That was a one-hit wonder.
Mm-hmm.
How about EU, the butt? Doing the butt all night long.
Corey Hart had a couple, but yeah, that was his big one.
Close off.
Pat Benatar. Now we're going to have to fight.
No, Pat Benatar was not. Come on.
Now we're going to have to fight. Hey, people get angry. The videos that I put with one-hit wonders in it, and these weren't, I didn't put like Bruce Springsteen in there. Nobody was in there. But people in the comment section, if they happen to be a fan, were like, how dare you? It's not an insult. It means that you managed to do something incredible, but lightning only struck once. Don Johnson, that's another one. God, that song was horrible. Heartburn or Heartbreak?
Oh, no. What is that one?
Heartburn.
No, it's not Heartburn. It's Heartburn. Heartbeat.
Gave me heartburn.
Oh, what about oh God, shit, this one's gonna slip my mind now. I Can't Wait, New Shoes. I can't wait. I can't wait. That's all I remember. That's
Raining Men.
Yeah, Wishing Well. Who sang Wishing Well? Wishing Well, oh kissing.
I always thought that was like Terrence Trent D'Arby, no?
Terrence Trent D'Arby, yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't go by that anymore? He changed his name.
Music, but that was the one that you would, really.
All I Need by Jack Wagner. Oh my God.
Oh God.
All on. Yep, that one. That's. These are all, and like I said, chat is literally exploding.
Voices carry till Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Was that a one-hit wonder?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they're really good, but that was the one big song.
Pac-Man Fever. They said.
That's Pac-Man Fever.
That was so good. I love that one.
Oh, don't do my Samantha Fox dirty like that, Kevin. She was a
one-hit wonder. She was a one-hit wonder.
No, she had Naughty Girls Need Love too. She had Touch Me. She had two. I remember the videos. Clearly, I remember the videos. I couldn't wait for them.
UB40, Red Wine. How about the kids, the music something, Pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side?
Oh, yeah, Pass the Dutchie.
Pass the Dutchie, and we all thought that meant like pass a joint, but it's really just like pass the Dutchie. The Dutchie, I guess, was a pan.
Yeah.
So pass the Dutchie pan on the left-hand side because they're eating around a fire, but I always thought that was a song about drugs.
Listen, UB40 did the remake of Elvis's "I Can't Help Falling in Love with You," and that is like one of my top songs. Like I love.
Yeah, but it's a remake.
Love it.
It's not theirs. Well, neither was the other one. That was Neil Diamond.
Yeah, exactly.
Johnny Kemp just got paid. It's Friday night.
Sheriff, When I'm With You.
Oh.
How about Nina Cherry, Buffalo Stance? I mean, that's a freaking great song. That's one that I'm like, what happened?
Cutting Crew?
Buffalo Stance is a great song.
Cutting Crew is another one that I think I might have owned that album. That's how much that song was like resonating with me in the 80s.
Why did I just say Electric Avenue? I just heard that the other day. What song is it? Electric Avenue that starts with Doy. Remember that song that starts with Doy?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, Yeah.
Then he says it again. Boy!
Yeah.
John Parr saying almost fire.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so many guys.
And the Cruisers.
And people are ready to fight. Film buffs about to hurt someone who mentioned the Righteous Brothers.
Unchained Melody.
Plus, you've lost that love and feelings, and I'm sure they had others.
No.
But that's my point. Sometimes people will see one and they're like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Oh, Musical Youth. That was past the Dutchie. Modern English, I Melt With You. I always joke that I Melt With You. You cannot sing that song and not affect an English accent for some reason. Everybody that sings that song ends up doing it in a British accent.
Eddie and the Cruisers on the Dark Side. I think it was I don't think it was. I can't remember what band that was, but on the Dark
If you
Side.
didn't say Eddie and the Cruisers, I would have had it.
Billy Vera at this moment.
They're the Beaters. When I hear that song, I'm instantly taken back to Michael J. Fox and 2 dates at the high school prom for the sitcom with Justine Bateman. And yeah, that song. That's when that song got famous for me.
I mean, Bette Midler kind of had a one-hit wonder, too.
No, she didn't. No. She's a national treasure that has an entire catalog of cherished songs. I don't. No.
Chris.
No.
How about? I'm not going to get into that one. Ain't nothing going to break my stride. How about Matthew Wilder? Ain't nothing going to break my stride.
Yeah.
All right, turning Japanese. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. We could go on. It's 9:50. Like, we got to wrap this up now because we can literally go a whole hour now with just one-hit wonders. So I think I found a good category. Okay, so here we go. The 3 topics, again, they all connect. Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Girls, and one-hit wonders.
I'm going to give Chad a minute. You lost me on Golden Girls. I think most people are very quickly going to come up with the same answer, and they're all going to be able to connect 2.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
You with me on that, Joe?
Yeah, I do agree because right away, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin says Paul Reiser.
I bet you don't if you're connecting those 2. I bet you don't have it.
So I'll wait for that.
I have the whole thing.
I don't have it, but I'm saying I think a lot of people will think they've got it based on 2. Kind of a red herring, so to speak. Thank you, Life. That where there is a huge artist.
Right, but her song,
you shut your filthy mouth right now. Shut your filthy mouth.
Her radio presence was a one-hit wonder.
No, it was not. She had The Rose. Beaches, the soundtrack. I mean, so many. I can go anyway. Let's stop. those are the only 2 I know.
By the way,
I'm starting to get like Kramer from Seinfeld.
I really only know 2. Again, you guys always misrepresent my love. I just happen to watch Beaches. Khan is summing up what I think we're going to see a lot. Eddie Murphy being the connection because of obviously being in Beverly Hills Cop and also his one-hit wonder, Party All the Time.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw snippets of that throughout the hour. Doesn't get us to Golden Girls.
John is starting to turn into Kramer from Seinfeld, protecting Bette. He's protecting Bette. He's going to be by her bedside, getting her ice cream, whatever she needs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a lot of Eddie Murphy. I'm ignoring it.
I do that for Samantha Fox, but I mean, you can understand why.
That was hot.
I will defend Samantha Fox to the death. She's not a one-hit wonder. She's amazing.
She had a good poster.
She's perfect.
She did have
in every way.
Yeah,
She's still
poster.
beautiful. She's still beautiful.
Whatever. Was Eddie Murphy a guest star on Golden Girls? If he was, I never saw that episode.
If he was, I cannot recall.
So the consensus is Eddie Murphy, and people are connecting it to Party All the Time and Beverly Hills Cop. I don't see anyone getting to Golden Girls.
Judge Reinhold have a one-hit wonder?
Yeah, see, somebody says Samantha Fox rules. That's right. She rules. It is not Eddie Murphy.
There's the red herring.
I was going to say, I would have thought that it would maybe somebody else that was in the original. Like, did Judge Reinhold have a one-hit wonder that I don't know
Is
about?
Balky the connection. Did Balky? I could see him being on Golden Girls. I could absolutely see him singing. I think you stumped us. Wait. Christy McNichol. She wasn't in any way connected to Beverly Hills, was she? Because I know she sang. She actually did put out an album. So I can connect to that way, too.
Somebody mentioned something in the beginning that was actually the connection. But it was way early on. And I actually talked about it. I expanded on it just because I wanted to be like, I wanted to throw it out there so nobody thought I was hiding from it.
Okay. Who was it? Me or John?
I don't remember. No, it wasn't either of you. It was somebody in the audience.
Damn it. I wanted to beat him.
But
You'll never beat me.
Do you want me to give you a big hint?
Yeah.
Sure.
My shirt.
Still not helping.
You don't know who that is?
Sylvester.
I do. I know that he was going to be Axel. And that's as far as I got. I don't remember him singing, and I don't remember him being on the Golden Girls.
So he was supposed to be Axel Foley. Somebody mentioned that before.
Yep.
He was in Stop or My Mom Will Shoot with
Daddy.
And he wrote and directed a movie called Staying Alive, which was the sequel to, oh my God.
Saturday Night Fever.
Thank you, Saturday Night Fever. His brother, Frank Stallone, had the one-hit wonder. It was a one-hit wonder and had the song Far From Over, which was in the top 10 and actually got nominated for a Golden Globe.
I never would have got that.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I never would have got there.
Never would have got that. But it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
But I was trying to find something a little easier, but then when I saw his brother it wasn't just that his brother was a one-hit wonder. His brother was the one-hit wonder in a movie he wrote and directed, which was Staying Alive. I didn't know that.
Kevin says Sylvester Stallone sang Rhinestone Cowboy, so that would have been a hit of his own.
I didn't see that, but yeah, so he wrote and directed Staying Alive, and Frank Stallone was the one-hit wonder in there, Far From Over, and it gave me a chance to talk about one-hit wonders.
I don't know what Far From Over is. I
don't either.
I must know it if it won like would you say a Grammy?
It won a Golden Globe.
Golden Globe. I must know it, but because I know lots of music, but the title's not hitting.
I know it. This is the end.
Okay. I know it.
It's a big song. I mean, it wasn't just like a, kind of song that you don't know the title, but Far From Over is a big song that everybody's probably heard.
You didn't cheat. It was a good connection. We just didn't get there. And the problem is that the red herring is such a distraction because I wasn't even pushing out. People were throwing out the one-hit wonder party all the time. I was ignoring it in the chat. I wasn't posting it. I'm like, too early. We're not going to, and it wasn't it.
Somebody at the very beginning said, "Oh, this connection's too easy."
I think that was our friend Life.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't.
Life on Two Wheels wasn't so easy, my buddy, was it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the idea. Like the first two, I thought, again, like the Beverly Hills Cop Stallone thing, a lot of people know that story, that he was originally cast, but he wanted it to be darker. He thought it was going to be a darker movie. He wanted to do something darker. He wasn't ready to do comedy yet. And then the Stop or My Mom Will Shoot with the Golden Girls. I mean, Estelle Getty is one of the main Golden Girls. So the third one was a little more challenging, but the idea there was like, if you knew, you kind of started to put the pieces together, then you would figure out that Stallone was part of a one-hit wonder.
Can I just
again, if he did
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot was a freaking dumb movie.
Terrible movie.
It was a terrible, terrible movie.
Yeah, terrible movie. Yeah.
Never saw it.
Oh, it's terrible. Don't bother. I don't even know if I saw it the whole way through.
Do you remember when Sylvester and I sang the song Rhinestone Cowboy? He sang it with Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton and Sylvester Stallone singing Rhinestone Cowboy. Okay, I've had enough of that. That was bad. But Dolly's wearing a very low-cut shirt back in the 80s, so that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, Far From Over was a much better song.
Why, thank you.
Right back at you, buddy.
It was Stallone. I think he's like one of our greatest action stars of all time. And obviously, you know, the story of him and Rocky and what he did to get that made, and not only get made, but star in it, is just like it's the American dream. I mean, the guy literally came from nothing. He got kicked out of, I think, 10 schools. He got expelled from high schools, ended up in Switzerland at a school because he could not stay in school here. He was a complete mess. He actually graduated from the University of Miami and then got a job cleaning the lions' cages at the zoo. He was cutting heads off of the fish at a fish market. And those were his jobs. Like he was doing nothing. He had no money.
I never saw it.
What?
I'm like, leave me out of it. I didn't disparage Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I just never saw it.
He was, he had nothing, you know. I mean, this is not a guy with any connections. He made it.
Dude, his story is the story of Rocky. Somebody who came from nowhere. I mean, he literally is autobiographical, other than the fact that his story didn't end as a boxer. But that's the story. It's amazing.
And Sly, somebody said there's a Sly documentary on Netflix, which is awesome. And I also wanted to bring it up today, too, because I know Memorial Day is about, you know, veterans that had passed away or people that passed away in war. Memorial Day. Veterans Day is to celebrate all our veterans.
Right.
But Rambo, even though it wasn't a character that had passed away, really brought PTSD for veterans to light in a way like no other movie had ever done. And a lot of people talk about that, what that character meant to a lot of guys that were coming back from Vietnam. And the importance of that story, the importance of the book, and that Sylvester Stallone was perfect for Rambo. We talk about characters on this show today where we say, could anybody else be that character? And the answer is no. He was perfectly cast for Rambo. Nobody else could have been that character.
I could have done it.
No, he was perfect for that. He really was.
And he's just, you know, I love the stories like that, because too often we hear about these great actors and actresses or these successful ones, and you don't know that actually their grandfather and their grandmother and their mom and their dad, you have no idea all the connections they had that made it so easy for them. All the doors were opened. All they had to do was walk through them. And there are a few that really did it on their own with nothing and knowing nobody. And there are very few. When you start to look at the family trees of the people that you watch on TV, you start to understand why they got the chance and opportunity they did. And Stallone is not one of those people. And so for that reason, I just respect him so much more, because he did it on his own.
Did he write Rambo?
Not write Rambo. It's actually a book. There's a series of books with John Rambo, and I can't remember the author's name. But no, he did not write Rambo.
Oh, dude, job well done. I'm
Good
impressed.
job. Yes. Now,
David Morrell was the author of Rambo.
Who was it?
David Morrell.
David, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yep.
am I on next week?
You are.
I guess.
All right.
I don't know. You got a lot to live up to, because your episode 2-3 weeks ago was awesome, Shell.
Well, thank you.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to have to, okay. I'm making myself a note. I'm up next week. I'm up.
You don't have it yet? You usually ahead 2-3 weeks.
I do, but I just wrote a note. It says I'm up to shell it.
Gotcha.
So,
Shell it. Well, listen, guys, a little bit of housekeeping. What do you guys got going on this week? Anything special?
Me?
Huh?
No.
You going to be anywhere, doing anything, speaking in front of anybody?
No. I'm here this week. I'm at home. Yep.
I'm actually heading out to Dallas, Texas. I will be at Fan Expo Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, March 30th, 31st, and 1st for the 40th anniversary reunion of Back to the Future.
Oh, that's cool.
Also going to see Mr. T and Dirk Benedict there from A-Team. Somebody mentioned Heather Locklear today. I'll be seeing her. Really amazing group of people that are going to be at this convention. I'm really psyched about it.
Awesome.
But I will be back in time to be in this chair come Monday morning.
Awesome.
Well, tomorrow's show, Linda, is my live show. I was going to mention that next. I'm going to be live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time at the Hickory Tavern in Fort Mill, South Carolina, doing Gen X era trivia. And I'll be streaming it live. That's me.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, guys. I loved it. Dude, good job. And we'll be back here, same bad time, same bad channel next week.
Yep.
Yep.
Peace.
Stay rad, everybody.
See ya.